Hey everyone, so I'm here to share with you, in my practice at least, what I've found to be the 5 biggest blocks to healing. And there could be a lot more. I'm just kind of categorizing them so that you can kind of go through and see, if there's something that you haven't been able to resolve, whether it's physical or emotional. Is there a reason maybe that you're not fully aware of? So, the first thing that has come up quite a lot is feeling like non deserving of a healing or to be at the best health. And it's related to a lack of self love. So, it can be very deep rooted, this non deserving feeling. It could be due to unresolved guilt, like maybe, the person feels like they've done something wrong in the past and they don't deserve, to be healed, on top of many other things like, to be happy. There could be kind of like a poor self-image. And so in this case, we need to resolve the underlying causes. And it can be related to poor self-esteem, some sort of maybe abuse in the past as a child, or maybe just lack of attention or rejection of some sort in the past. It could be so many things causing this lack of feeling like, I don't deserve to be better. And it's some level, it's a self-sabotage, but it is very much fed by attachments and things that are kind of related to, the ego and this physical reality. So many layers could be involved in this feeling of not deserving to be better and healed and happy. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the victim mentality, the poor me, and this need for attention. Because at some point, there may have been a feeling of not being paid attention to, or the person has always been taking care of other people, so that it came to a point where their body basically broke down, or their mind broke down, and they became diseased, and it's serving them because now everybody pays attention to them. So this is it can be very subconscious, because like, who wants to really be sick? But if it's benefiting the person because they are compensating subconsciously for not receiving attention for their whole life, it will give them what they need until they realize that they need to heal that subconscious issue, right? They could also be enabled by someone who's close by to them, like someone is enabling their illness because the person, let's say they have a partner who does pay more attention to them when they're sick, or if it's an addiction and they somehow feed the addiction because they feel sorry for them and they don't want them to feel bad. So it's very much it could be related to a childhood trauma. It can be related to just past or current relationship dynamics where they just feel like they need to be taken care of, or they need attention, and this is how they can do it. And most people are not conscious of it. So like, awakening to that is very important to be able to finally get better. The third thing is the ego identification with the disease. I like saying the word dis-ease, not disease, because it's a lack of ease in the body, mind, spirit. So being attached to a label of the diagnosis is very much going to perpetuate the illness, because many people will live years with something like, for example, fibromyalgia, right? And all it does is, if the person has it for so long, they start to forget who they really are, and they start to think that this is just who they are, and they become so attached to this disease that they don't know who they are without it. And so it's actually scary for them to let it go. because then it's like, who am I, right? Who am I without this condition? And some people find it's easier to stay stuck because the fear, again, the fear of change, the what if, I don't want to deal with the underlying trauma, because it does sometimes require dealing with the underlying trauma. So it's easier to stay stuck. And then there could be some other benefit, again, relating to the victim mentality. So it's like the identification with disease serves them in so many different ways. But in particular, just feeling like they don't know who they are without it. Now, these are more physical reasons. So the fourth thing would be just toxicity in the cells of the body. Unresolved emotions, stagnant emotions are also toxins. And when the body is toxic, it's really hard to heal because it's like a blockage. It's like an obstruction to healing. So whether it's a physical condition, emotional condition, toxins, whether they come from the environment, from inside the body, from food, and from stagnant emotions, will create barriers, and they usually need to be released through through detoxing, through fasting, through cleansing of some sort, and through whatever means, through healing of like moving those emotions, whether it's using different modalities, like could be acupuncture, could be body talk, it could be Reiki, it could be hypnotherapy, it doesn't matter. But if it's stagnant, it creates like almost like a toxin in your body, and this will also be a huge block to healing. Okay. And then the last thing I want to talk about is just obvious poor diet, lifestyle choices, right? Although you do need to deal with the underlying reasons for the poor diet and lifestyle. It could be a simple lack of education, and that's usually an easier fix. But if the poor diet and lifestyle choices are due to emotional causes because the person just feels like crap and they want to eat crappy, then you got to deal with that. Okay. But the poor diet and lifestyle choices are going to manifest as a blockage, because if you're not feeding your body properly, then what is that going to do? That is going to cause it's going to cause toxins. It's also going to create an energetic deficiency in the body, and stagnation, because what you eat and how you treat your body manifests as how you your consciousness, and it's all energy, right? But these things like diet, like food, like if you eat a vegetable versus some sort of like you drink a carbonated drink versus a smoothie or something just simple like that, which one has a higher vibration, and which one is going to affect your body in a positive way? These are very simple things, but they can be very they can block people very, very much. So an example is, for example, poor energy, like someone who has just low energy. There may be an emotional cause or a trauma, which many times it is, being depleted due to overgiving or just never being able to take care of oneself, or unresolved trauma. But there could just be a simple lack of nutrition, lack of absorption of nutrients, which is usually inflammation, which has many other causes. And to be honest, everything is so intertwined that it's hard to just differentiate, oh, this is physical and this is emotional, because usually one causes the other, and it just becomes this big effect of the snowball. It's just this, then this, then this, then this, and then you gotta clear that, and then that clears, and that clears, and that clears, and that's usually what happens with the healings. Okay, so the 5, at least in my practice, the 5 biggest blocks: lack of deserving, feeling like one doesn't deserve to be healed; lack of self-love, a victim mentality, staying ill because you're being paid attention to. 3 would be the ego identification with the disease. So you're attached to the label because you don't know who you are without it. 4 is toxicity. So you're just toxic from external, internal environment, from emotional stagnation, and these are barriers to healing. And the 5th thing would just be simple poor and diet and lifestyle choices, which, like I said, already are connected to other factors. So it's really very individual how to actually go about healing, because you need to deal with so many different layers. And yeah, so if you're ready for that kind of healing, it's totally possible. Can physical, emotional imbalances be healed and overcome? Yes, I'd say no matter what. So that's one thing we need to also understand, is that all of this can be healed and resolved. And it's a process. Healing is always a process. It's like your whole life is healing. You first have to be aware of what's causing the blockage. You have to be willing to overcome it. So releasing the fear associated with change. You need to educate yourself on, whatever it is, whether you get it through the healer or just on your own. Just educate yourself on what the healing is all about, and what are all these imbalances that are in your body, and what are your choices, your lifestyle and diet choices. And to be honest, sometimes an entire healing session, like the first one, has to deal with the blocks, because I can't help someone unless we deal with the blockages first. And some people, we can't get through to the trauma until we deal with, the surface level blockages. Like, well, I don't really want to let go of this label because I don't know what I am without it. That is like major. Like, we need to clear that first before we can actually heal the deeper roots. Okay? So that is what I'd like to say about that for now. If you like this video, please click like, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And if you are needing some help in this area, I'm here and doing online consults. If you're not close by, you're always welcome to send me a message. I'll put my email below in the video as well, and my website. So thanks for joining me, and take care. See you soon. Namaste.